Imagine never having to guess what your prospects are thinking. Every objection, every hesitation, every single false belief, captured, analyzed, and turned into content that feeds back into your business automatically. I'm talking about a self-learning sales engine that not only books your calls, but listens, learns, and generates laser-targeted content that brings in even more leads on autopilot. But here's the kicker. It never stops learning. Every call, every conversation, every rebuttal you make is uploaded, understood, and looped back into the system. It's not just automation, it's evolution. Right now, most sales processes are still trapped in 2010. Cold calls, manual CRM updates, disconnected marketing, and sales funnels. But what if every sales call you made automatically generated insights? Not just for you, but for your entire content strategy. Here's the blueprint.
All right, what's up, guys? So here's the blueprint for how we're creating this feedback loop. We're going from sales call to sales call, so these are in blue. And sales call is natural human conversation, which is the foundation of your copywriting. And that sales call basically gets turned into a transcript, and specifically gets run through an AI agent here, which turns it into insights, FAQs, objections, false belief patterns, everything that you can extract from the analysis of the psychology of the call. And we turn that into that document, gets formatted so that it goes into a content calendar. On that content calendar, we have automations that basically run each day. The piece of content goes to an AI agent who generates a script from those insights and creates short form content that gets posted to Instagram. And then people go to Instagram, they click the link in the bio, they get a free automation. We capture the lead through a form or a lead magnet. And then an AI agent, a setting agent, basically books the call. And then we have another sales call, and this process continues. And then I just added, personalized follow-up here. So, but basically it's this is the feedback loop, where it just goes around and around and around, and the content gets more and more contextual, and we have more and more access to the actual transcript. So the transcript actually feeds our AI agent that's calling and setting. The AI agent understands the context of the AI agent learns from more and more sales conversations. So if we feed the knowledge base with the transcripts of sales calls we're already having, it'll know how we're answering questions, different stories that we're telling to overcome false beliefs, different rebuttals for objections, answers different FAQs. The AI agent gets access to that knowledge base. Also, our content calendar gets more and more dialed in with insights from natural conversations. We have more clarity on the actual offers, who's a good client, who's not a good client, who's an ideal fit, who's not. And then all of our content is actually tailored for people who are actually getting on calls with us, whether those are a bad sales call, a good sales call. Learn from your failures. And so our catalog of content on Instagram or whatever platform it is speaking to the exact client avatar who typically wants to work with us, and it addresses their problems, their pain points, etc. And so the content gets more exact. So in terms of the actual tech stack, this workflow is using things like Notion, N8N, ChatGPT 4.1, Lovable, Supabase, VAPI, GHL, TLDV. The main thing is you can use like TLDV for transcripts, or you can use like Firefly for transcripts. Content calendar, that's in a Notion content calendar. The AI agents are with N8N. Our short form is with Instagram. We can do personalized follow-up. But basically, our setting agent can be an SMS with N8N, or it could be GHL, it could be VAPI. So there's all these different like tech stacks, but the general structure is the same. The general feedback loop is the same, regardless of what structure you put in. So some people, for example, will use Airtable for their content calendars. For their agents, they'll use things like Relevance, or they'll use other Make.com for their agents. They'll use different platforms. But generally, the loop, the concept, the workflow, all follows a certain pattern. So same thing when we're doing consulting with people, because clients have tech stacks that range from all kinds of different softwares. Generally, we start from a conceptual workflow, and then we'll map the actual tech stack into the workflow and integrate everything so that it is automated and streamlined. So here is just one of the workflows, and this is taking in the transcript and it's sending it into an AI agent that then sends the document into our database. And so in terms of where this fits in our steps, we have the sales call that gets the transcript here, and it turns it into a document and sends it in a content calendar. So this is the workflow that takes care of these three concepts. And you can see we have successful executions. It's doing its job. There's a lot of interesting back-end prompt engineering we're doing within the agent itself, structuring the output. We're using ChatGPT 4.1 with a million token context window, and we're setting we're asking for different categories and insights that are very specific to marketing and sales insights, FAQs, objections, false belief patterns, things like that the AI agent is picking up out of the transcript, and then it's turning it into content ideas, marketing angles, sales insights that are all being uploaded into the content calendar. And this gets uploaded to a content database. It doesn't necessarily have to be a calendar. It can be a list view, a board. It can be a timeline of ideas. But basically, you can reference this database of ideas to generate short form, long form, text-based blog posts that are all hyper relevant to actual conversations, natural conversations, and client inquiries. And so your content becomes extremely contextual, lasered in, dialed in, and starts to convert. From there, once we have that database, we can run it into more automations, AI agents that actually generate short form. So I'll show you one of those. This is one of my favorite automations that I run, which takes in the piece of content from the day so each day it pulls the idea from the day in the content calendar, and then an AI agent writes a script with very specific prompt engineering. I think this is a 10 out of 10 prompt, really good back-end prompt engineering output parser. Generates AI-generated image to video, puts it with an AI avatar, and puts it in Instagram. So it generates that whole short form. So that generates the short form, posts it for you. And then on your actual Instagram pages, if you have like a free lead magnet, some sort of, like for me, I like to use free automations like Make or N8N automation templates and give those away in exchange for the lead. And then our AI agent calls them, texts them, and books them on the calendar. And then we have another sales call, and this process continues. And from the sales calls, actual conversations, we're having more content that brings people in, that we get their information. The AI agent books them. We have more sales calls, more opportunities, and more dialed in opportunities. And this goes around and around and around until we have extremely specialized, laser focused offers based on our best client interactions and actual sales that we're generating. My favorite aspect of this is in the knowledge base, so you can think of it as the transcripts feed a knowledge base that also feeds other things at the same time. So for example, our transcript would feed this knowledge base, which we would call like a RAG knowledge base. And this RAG knowledge base would also feed our AI agent, our booking agent. And so based on transcripts, it can hear how I'm handling FAQs, how I'm handling objections, my rebuttals, my answers, the stories that I'm telling, the different offers and services and products and packages that I'm quoting, the pricing. It's all getting fed into my infinite SMS booking agent and my VAPI sales agent, right? We use VAPI here for the booking agent. So, but you can use things like Synthflow. You can use all these different voice platforms. Like the tech stack is less important. It's secondary to the workflow. And so This RAG also fuels your personalized follow-up, which would be like email, context on the lead. So the same information that we're extracting from live sales calls is getting fed back into our knowledge base of the lead, and so we can write an email that's based exactly on the questions and concerns they had. We can generate email that has context and personalized, and so that is how that system continually learns and improves and adds knowledge to itself.
Every call made adds to the AI knowledge base, growing smarter with each interaction. Your SMS AI agent, it's now fluent in your exact rebuttals and closing techniques. But here's where it gets wild. The feedback loop never breaks. It's an infinite cycle of learning and optimization. Your next call is smarter than your last. Your next piece of content is more targeted. And your next AI interaction is sharper, more precise, and more effective. This isn't just automation. It's self-evolving sales intelligence, a loop that drives itself, feeds itself, and scales itself. Your sales calls aren't just conversations. They're data streams, building a knowledge base that compounds in value. Every call you take, every objection you handle, every story you tell is instantly weaponized into laser-targeted content that speaks directly to your ideal avatar's pain points. Traditional sales funnels, dead. Manual CRM updates, obsolete. One-off content strategies, ancient history. We're talking about real-time contextual marketing that evolves with your audience's mindset every single day.